Welcome back, you guys. The royal wedding is this coming Saturday, and I've made this epic modern wedding cake inspired by the flavors that Prince Harry and Meghan have picked for their wedding cake. So since the royal wedding cake is going to be flavored with lemon and elderflower, I added a simple syrup to this cake that's made with elderflower liqueur and a little bit of gin. I thought those two flavors seemed very British and kind of very on trend for the royal wedding. And since I chose gin and blackberry brambles are such a popular drink, I decided to add some blackberries between the layers as well. So all 4 tiers of this cake are made with my favorite vanilla layer cake recipe, and I'm frosting them with my classic American buttercream. Each of the tiers is made in the same way. Once I had assembled the layers, I added a thin crumb coat, chilled the cake, and then added a second thicker layer of frosting. If you guys want to see a full tutorial on how to frost a cake with perfectly smooth sides, I have a full tutorial up for it, and you can find it by clicking the link in the upper right corner. My base tier was made with 10-inch cake layers, and I decided to go up in 2-inch intervals. So the second tier is made with 8-inch cake layers, the third 6-inch cake layers, and the top tier is made with tiny little 4-inch cake layers. To make sure that the cake could support its weight, I added bubble tea straws, which are just thick plastic straws, into my bottom 3 tiers, and this just helps make sure that your cake layers don't kind of fall in on themselves due to their weight. As you guys can see, this cake is going to be huge, so it's really important that it's properly supported. To see a full tutorial on how to make a tiered cake, you can also click the link in the upper right corner. So I filled in any gaps between the tiers with a little bit of extra frosting, and then I began to prepare the flowers to be added onto the cake. So it's really important that when you add flowers to a cake, you wrap the stems with flour tape to make sure that none of the fluids from the stems leach into the cake, as it can give a little bit of a bitter taste. I like to secure my flowers using extra buttercream, but if you're worried about them staying in place or you're transporting a cake, you can definitely use wire to really insert into the cake to hold them in place. Since Meghan is going for more of a modern wedding cake, I chose some, less traditional flowers for this cake to decorate it, and I also painted on some gold streaks just to give it a little bit of a different look. I really love the way this cake turned out. It still looks very traditional because of the 4 tiers, but the flowers I think really give it an exotic vibe. I made a matching cocktail that mirrors the flavors that are in this cake, that has a little bit of gin, some elderflower liqueur, and a little bit of club soda. It just seemed like the right thing to do to really celebrate the royal wedding and to celebrate making this massive cake. I always love to cut into my cakes to show you what the inside looks like, and I had to get a little bit creative with how I cut this cake open, just because it is a tiered cake. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this massive cake come together, and I also hope you guys really have a wonderful time watching the royal wedding this coming Saturday.